We are live. What's up, everybody? Hope you have had a good week. I've had a crazy good week. This week on the show, we've got comedian Dave Berkey. Stick around for him. He's a real live comedian. That means there will be at least one part of the show that'll be funnier than me, which is probably all of the show. And a story from him, a really bad joke from me about a moth. Thank you for tuning in. Now's the time to text your friends. Let them know that the show is going on. This week, I have remembered to unmute my microphone in the beginning of the show. We're learning, we're making the audio better, and hopefully you can hear me just fine tonight. Just a question for you all in the chat, just type a simple yes or no. Have you ever done one of those things where you rent a cabin with all your friends get together, and you get into one cabin? Just type, like I said, just type a simple yes or no in the chat. I have done that a couple times. There was one time where a bunch of college friends and I got together and we went to West Virginia to go whitewater rafting in college. And it was like a cabin tent thing. It was 50 degrees outside and it was 50 degrees in the water. And the whole thing was just a drunky drunk fest, but it was a ton of fun. So anyway, I have had a crazy busy week. It's beautiful here in Columbus. Allison Landa says yes, she has done the thing with the cabin and her friends. It's like 90 degrees outside. Chris Morrow's here. Hello, Chris. Good to see you as well. Saturday, Sunday, I built shelving in the garage. That's what I did. I was like a total homeowner. I built shelving. Bought it from scratch, just bought the lumber, had it cut to the sizes I need. I was wearing jeans just so, because I'm doing construction in the garage. And I was sweating my ass off, but it felt like a good, cathartic project. Brandon Smith's here. What's up, Brandon? Good to see you too, buddy. We've got a fun show tonight. I'm really pretty excited about tonight's show. I have some headlines to start out with. I just want to thank my friends again who've tuned in to watch this. Also, the friends who have helped me throughout the week. I test audio as we go. I'm trying to improve the studio space here. And as I do that, I'm looking for it to be better and better. And so I have to have friends that do like test Zoom calls with me. So friends like Cameron Zavara, Eric Diddleman, Mark Wolf, you guys are awesome. You're constantly like, we're texting each other like, hey, can we test audio on this thing real quick? And we're doing it back and forth. And it's been a crazy experience. Shit's opening up, you guys. Stuff is opening up and the world is changing. Jimmy Mack says, you can't love anyone until you learn to love yourself. Listen, I posted a thing on Facebook about bread, and I don't know what it is about bread that brings on puns. People love bread puns. Bread and cheese. Cheese puns are there too. I've had to listen to so many damn puns this week. It's nearing the status of hatred that I have for Baby Yoda. So like puns are here, Baby Yoda is still here, and then COVID deniers are up here. So speaking of COVID, we have some news I want to share with you. This is crazy. You guys, look at this. Look at this headline. That's insane. That's insane. CDC warns of aggressive rats searching for food during shutdowns. That is nuts. It just confirms what I've long suspected. DoorDash will hire just about anyone. So that's an actual real headline, you guys. That is for reals. And that's the picture of the rat that they had. I feel like if you're gonna do a news story in the New York Times about a rat, you want to find a New York rat. That looks like, I don't even know what kind of rat that is. Doesn't look like a New York rat. Here's another real headline. Look at this guy. Rhinestone jockstrap beginning. So that is photoshopped. That is not the real thing. That's the real thing. Rhinestone jockstrap belonging to Elvis Presley on sale for almost 30,000 pounds. Someone's gonna buy Elvis's jockstrap for 30,000 pounds, and maybe that's what that was. Maybe that's who's gonna buy it. Yeah, just a couple quick changes to it, and I don't think that you should really. It's Elvis's jockstrap. You're gonna pay 30,000 pounds for it. I don't think that you should deface it like that. And where's he finding 30,000 pounds anyway? Does that translate? He's in prison right now. So that apparently he's the new buyer. Let's see. We have one more jokes or one more news story here. Let's find it. Here it is. The North Korean regime was finally forced to admit that their leader Kim Jong-un cannot, in fact, bend time and space. You've heard this type of thing. Kim Jong-il was apparently born under a rainbow and shot a perfect round of golf, and then of course now his son. They've told people for decades that he can bend time and space. He's apparently a time traveler. I don't know if they're setting it up because he's not doing well health-wise or whatever, but I think what really happened was that, so the admission, yeah, here it is. This admission was forced when North Korea hackers found out that this photo had been photoshopped. So apparently they did some deep dive hacking on this photo and looked at it and found out that is not in fact real. And so now, of course, they have to admit that none of that's real. So that's the news. I have more news. Again, this week I wanted to talk about real news with y'all, and I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. Jimmy Mack has a fun fact for me. Elvis weighed 30,000 pounds, the same amount as what it cost for his jockstrap. Hack to the Jimmy. I hope, seriously, I really hope that you're just here for puns through the entire show. This would make my night. Maybe you'll make me like puns again. It's not that I don't like puns. In fact, one of the best jokes that I've ever heard was a pun joke from you. So Chris says, there goes my sense of reality. Yeah. So anywho, let's, this show is called Joke Story Trick. The show is called that because I tell a joke, I tell a story, and I do a trick. And so it's that time. But before we do that, I do want to plug something real quick, you guys. If you are watching on YouTube, please do me the favor of oh, there we go. Subscribing. Subscribe, click, make sure that you click the little bell as well. And that'll let everyone know that, that'll let you know whenever I have a new video out or when I'm going live. And because I spent the time this week to create that graphic, we're going to hit that again because I'm proud of it. Click, bell, boom. Okay, very good. And with all of that said, it's time for a joke. Oh boy. So this is, I go through so many jokes and trying to find the best one. And this one actually made me laugh out loud, and it's really, really stupid. So here it is. A man was at the hospital, and he walks into the surgeon's office. The doctor says, "Can I help you?" The man says, "Doc, I keep thinking that I'm a moth." The doctor says, "You probably want a psychiatrist for that." "Yeah, I know," says the man. Doctor looked confused. "Then why are you here?" The man says, "The light was on." I thought that it was a good joke, but I don't think it is anymore. Dude, yeah, it's a boo. That's a boo. I thought it was a good joke when I read it. Maybe I was just drunk or in a fun mood. I don't know what that was all about. Not a good joke. But I do have some user-submitted jokes this week. This is from a regular watcher of the show, Mark DiTullio. What do you call a magician who has lost his magic? What do you call a magician who has lost his magic? Ian. That one is better on paper. That is not that is not a good, we need a thumbs down for that. Yeah. That one, you need to see it. You need to see it on paper because magician, magic, Ian, that's how that works. What is the most sarcastic body of water on Earth? The Crimea River. The Crimea River. That is a good joke. Let's see. Ilan Smith, what rhymes with banana? No, it doesn't. I like that one. We'll give that one a thumbs up. What rhymes with banana? No, it doesn't. Okay. Matt Milton says, what time does Sean Connery go to Wimbledon? 10ish. That's a good joke. What time does Sean Connery go to Wimbledon? 10ish. All right. Here's another good one. This is from my friend Peter Bois. What did the baby corn say to mama corn? Where's popcorn? That's not a good joke. Yeah. All right. I think that the winner of all of those goes to Ilan Smith. No, not Ilan Smith. The next one. Matt Milton. What time does Sean Connery go to Wimbledon? 10ish. That's the winner this week of joke, story, trick, user submitted jokes. I would like you all to submit jokes, please. And you can do that right here. So michaelkentlive.com/jokes. Go there. You can submit a joke. You don't have to put your name on it. Or if you do, you can tell me you don't want me to say your name if it's that bad of a joke. It would be awesome if you did. michaelkentlive.com/jokes. Submit your joke. I would love to read it on the show. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We're going to go to the chat real quick and see what people are up to. How's everyone's week been? Have you all had a good week this week? Let me see. Go back to my chat. I had a crazy day today. We were about to go live on the show and are about to do a sound check with our guest today. And I realized that my hard drive that has all of the show's graphics and titles and videos and everything, all of that stuff was half an hour away from here. So I had to jump in my car at, it was like 8. I jumped in my car. I drove to go and get the hard drive. I drove all the way back and just barely made it in order to do a sound check and get everything running. So I'm super glad everyone's here. It's really nice to see you all and see all of these comments in the chat room. Let's move on to a story that I have been wanting to tell forever. I don't know that I've told it on here, but it's time for stories. When I was 17 years old, I used to have a regular activity with my marching band nerd friends. We would go out on Friday night before the football game. So this was, 1996. 17 years old. I'd get all my friends in a car and we would drive to go and do some activity before we'd have to show up for that night's football game. And this time, we decided to try to go to Chuck E. Cheese. Now, if you're not familiar, I'm sure just about everyone's familiar with Chuck E. Cheese, but if you're not familiar, Chuck E. Cheese is basically a kid's game room. And they had audio animatronic animals that sang and danced. And before that, it was called Showbiz Pizza, which is the same thing, just different animal mascots. And you're not allowed to go to Chuck E. Cheese when you're just like a 17-year-old kid. They don't let you do that. But we did anyway, so we went to the front desk, and you have to be like a parent with kids to get in. Well, we weren't. There were maybe 6 of us, and I kind of flirted with the front desk lady. So I said to the front desk lady, listen, none of us are 18, but we're just going to be here for like 2 hours before we go back. We just wanted something to do. We're not going to bug anyone. Can we get in? And she let us in. She shouldn't have, but she let us in. So cut to a few minutes later, I'm playing skee ball. And I'm rolling the skee balls, and I lost my tokens. Like, I put the token in, and I didn't get the balls didn't roll down to play the next game. So I reach inside the coin return, and as I did that, I found a button. And when I hit that button, the balls came down. I was like, well, that's awesome. Maybe I just needed to hit that button to restart it or something. Played the game. Reached down again, hit the button again. More free games. That lasted for, probably an hour and a half of me just doing nothing but playing free games of skee ball. And I had a stack of tickets, like, not even exaggerating, this high. It was hundreds of tickets, which I think 300 to 400 tickets, right? And that would buy like a jelly bracelet or something at Chuck E. Cheese. So I had all those tickets, and I was going to keep going until a big old dude, big, fat, tall dude with a buzz cut tapped me on the shoulder and turned around, and he's got a manager name tag on. And he says, "What are you doing?" And I played dumb. I'm like, "Nothing." And he says, "Come with me." He said, "The guy next to you, he's a sheriff. And he's been paying for his daughter's games all night. And they're sitting there watching you cheat this and get free games. What are you doing?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know what it was doing. It was just giving me free games." He's like, "No, you know what you were doing, and you stole from me." I was like, "Dude, I'll give you the $1.50 that these 400 tickets are worth." And he goes, "No, that's not it. How did you get in here? Who are you with? Where are your parents?" And I said, "No, I have no parents." And he was like, "How old are you?" I said, "I'm 17. I'm here with my friends." He said, "How'd you get in?" And then I had to, I was like, "Oh, we snuck by the girl in the front because I didn't want to get her in trouble." And he got real serious, and he said, "Listen, I'm going to call the cops, and you're going to explain to them what you've been doing." I said, No, don't. We'll leave right now. We'll leave right now." He goes, "Okay, you leave right now, and you never come back to this Chuck E. Cheese. You are banned for life from this Chuck E. Cheese." So that's how I got banned from life for Chuck E. Cheese, and I've never been back. I have never tried it. That Chuck E. Cheese in Springfield, Ohio is still in business. It's still there. And I sent an email yesterday because I realized I was going to tell this story on the show. I sent an email to Chuck E. Cheese explaining the story and asking if I'm still banned and apologizing. And I said, "Is there a book?" So I'm waiting to hear back. If I hear back in the next week on next week's show, I'll read that back. If we don't hear back, I'm going to keep at him because we're going to get an answer from Chuck E. Cheese. I want to know if I'm still banned, and I want to know if if I can go back one day. I don't have kids, so it'd be creepy if I did go back, but I don't like not knowing that I can't go there. So in just a moment, we're going to bring in a guest. I'm going to unmute my microphone for the guest. So this guest, if we can bring him in, go ahead and turn your camera on, guest. There we go, and make sure your mic's on. This guest is a guy that I only know from the comedy scene in Columbus, Ohio. Super funny guy. We became friends on Facebook, and his Facebook is seriously one of my favorite Facebook accounts to read. And I feel like, even though we've only hung out in person maybe once or twice in groups of other comedians, I feel like we're friends. And I invited him on the show because he's got a great story to tell. Everyone, please welcome our special guest today, Dave Berkey. What's up, Dave? How are you doing?
Michael, thank you so much. I appreciate you having me, if only because it's just giving me a small amount of time to not be watching Trolls 2 World Tour. It's constant.
So I've never seen either of the Trolls movie, but I heard that the second one is truly horrible.
It's very bad. And I don't know if you know what Universal Pictures did during the COVID-19 pandemic.
No.
They gave you the ability to go online and for only $20 ruin your life for weeks at a time in advance. It's great.
Oh my gosh. And that's where do I see that?
Go to any app store. You can buy the movie, watch it 15, 20, 30 times in a row with your kid.
Yeah. That'd be as creepy as me going to Chuck E. Cheese, I think.
Oh, yeah.
There's no reason for me to watch that movie.
It is a whirlwind delight. You would love it. It is so I am in pain.
And your son is Rio, correct?
Yes.
And how old is Rio?
Rio is 4 years old.
4. So that's right in his wheelhouse. Trolls 2 is like,
oh yeah, it's bright, it's loud, and it is everything.
Yeah. And it's Justin Timberlake in this one as well. Does he do like some crazy theme song for this one as well?
Oh yeah, it's actually impressive. Like the movie's really bad, but he did write every single song in it, which is kind of impressive.
Yeah. That guy, he makes so much money. It's sick.
Oh yeah, he's right here actually. He's right.
Look at this. That's awesome. I appreciate. Now that looks like an original. That doesn't look like some sort of reprint, fake weathered shirt.
I am a big fan, and I did get this at Target for $9.99.
Oh, it is. It is the reprint shirt.
Oh yeah.
Wow, fooled me. Yeah, I've got a friend, and who's a juggler who has an NSYNC themed bathroom, and he's got the whole bathroom is themed with all those guys. Pretty cool. How have you been handling
Okay.
the pandemic stuff other than Trolls 2?
It's been understandably rough. I've been mostly spending my time arming myself against the aggressive rats that have been scurrying outside of my home.
Yeah,
Um,
you have to be careful. The CDC is now warning against them. I
they're
just have that I
everywhere.
have this idea that all rats are aggressive. Maybe that's not right.
Oh, I've had pet rats before in the past. They're usually pretty nice and cuddly. They carry
Ugh.
disease, but they're fine.
I feel like that's the difference, like rats just maybe they just have a bad rap because like a mouse, a
Well,
hamster, a gerbil, they all seem cuddly, and then you go to rat, and all it is just a bigger version of those, and all of a
I
sudden
think it's all the plague. It's probably the plague. That'll
it's
do it.
the plague will give you a bad rap.
We'll see how bats come out of this.
Yeah. Well, that's true. That's true. So you've got a story for us, and so I ask my friends for stories all the time. Who's got a great story? And I don't know this story, but I'm told that it's fantastic, and so I'm just going to let you take it away, my friend. Tell us what you brought with you in terms of a story.
Okay. So at the beginning of the episode, you asked if people had gone to cabins with friends. I have. About, let's see, it's probably 3 years ago now. I actually died in a cabin in Hocking Hills, Ohio, allegedly. Um, Obviously, I am still here to tell this story. So about 3 years ago, a group of Columbus comedians all got together, and we decided that we were going to have like a really fun outing in Hocking Hills. So we rented a cabin, and about 28, maybe 30 comedians all descended upon Hocking Hills. That's a really bad idea. You obviously know some comedians. I think the best word to describe us would probably be pieces of shit. I think pieces of shit would probably be the best word to describe stand-up comedians as a whole. Um, so about 30 of us went down to this cabin. It was a very nice place, like beautiful. It was like a family-owned thing. They had no idea what they were getting into when they rented this out to us. But no, so like comics aren't typically the best people. But for this particular weekend, everybody was very, very organized about like one particular thing, and that was the drugs that they were going to take and when they were going to take them. So on night one, everybody decided we're just going to dip our toes in the water a little bit, just kind of ease in. So on night one, everybody decided to drop acid. Um, so obviously not everybody could do this. So they needed a couple people to be responsible, sit it out, make sure everybody was okay. So I volunteered myself with one other person, maybe a couple more. Like not everybody was on it, but way too many were on LSD this night. So I'm sitting back, I'm watching everything unfold. Everybody does the thing, they put it on their tongue. A couple hours go by, like, and I know that things are starting to get weird because like all of my friends are like discovering that they have hands again. Like it's like, like it's amazing. So I'm starting to like kind of panic a little bit because I'm realizing the depth of what is happening. I'm just surrounded by idiots that are about to go on the trip of a lifetime. Um, so I decide I need to calm down. And what I decided to do very smartly was go down to the kitchen and eat one of the weed brownies that someone made just to calm myself down,
That's fair.
obviously.
That's fair.
So again, a little bit of time went by and I realized I wasn't really feeling it. So I went back in and decided I need to eat another one. I don't know what your experience with hallucinogenic drugs is, but you should never do that. It's the biggest mistake. It's the number one rookie mistake. I know better, but whatever. So I'm 2 very strong weed brownies deep. All of my friends are really starting to trip around me, and I'm at this point kind of freaking out. So I'm just kind of wading through the house. Like there's like everything's mostly fine, but people are wigging out a little bit. Like there were like foods in weird places. The kitchen was overflowing with suds because someone put like the wrong dish detergent in like the dishwashing machine. Like because when you're in the shadow realm, like you probably need to be helpful. Um, so somebody ran a load of those. It was like a foam party. It was a good time. So I decided, all right, I've got to calm myself down. I'm responsible for all of these people. So I'm gonna go upstairs. I'm gonna go sit in the hot tub. It's got a nice balcony overlook view. I can see everyone. And I'm just gonna sit in that tub and I'm going to start drinking bullet bourbon straight from the bottle,
Oh my
to
God.
calm myself down.
Come on.
So now I am incredibly high, drinking bullet bourbon from the bottle in a hot, hot tub.
Ugh.
Uh, and obviously, I start to panic a little bit more. So I decide what I need to do is immediately remove myself from the tub and just go vomit everywhere in the bathroom. Um, so I do this. I lay down in the bathroom and I do what I like to call a brownout. It's not a blackout. Um, I was conscious, but I wasn't about to go any particular place. I was just going to be there. So finally, someone else had to come into the bathroom, and they see me laying on the ground, and they go, "Oh my God, Dave is dead." So a couple people hear this, and obviously they freak out. So a large group of people are around me, and I'm kind of like I'm making noises, and like they mostly sound like what a dead person would probably do, I'd imagine. Um, so everybody
Like a
gathers
zombie
around.
dead person.
Yeah, it was a lot of groaning and moaning, but
That's
mostly.
amazing.
So someone says, "Okay, look, someone has to go get Tasha because Tasha is a nurse." So they go and they fetch her, and she comes back and she looks at me. She kind of squats around me. She never really touches me. She doesn't check that I'm breathing. She doesn't check for a pulse. She looks at everyone and she goes, "I don't know how to tell you guys this. Dave is dead." And it made me like angry in post because obviously I'm alive, but mostly because Tasha wasn't a nurse. Tasha was a receptionist at a mental hospital. Um, so it just made me a little mad. I'm here, I'm fine. But that is a story about how
That's
I
incredible.
died in a cabin in the
So
woods.
that is amazing. So was Tasha was she was tripping as well?
Oh yeah, maybe
So
more
okay,
than
she
anyone.
wasn't the other person who decided to not partake.
Oh no, why would you get them to help?
What who was that? Oh, we don't have to name names. But
She was the girlfriend of another comedian that was there.
so she was just hanging out with them
Yeah.
and just and leaving your ass high and dry.
And in passing, someone decided that she worked in the medical field, which she kind of did.
Yeah, totally. Totally. She has a badge probably. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe a pair of
Oh,
rubber gloves in
absolutely.
her car.
Right.
That's amazing. That's a
Yeah, the
great
field
story,
medical
man.
exam was not good, though.
What was that last part?
Oh, the field medical exam was not great.
It was just a once over. Yep, dead.
Oh, yeah, gone.
Yeah, man. I was just in Denver and I talked to a few friends who live there, and it's apparently a problem with edibles that people keep taking way too much because it takes so long for them to work.
They sneak up on you. They will get you every time if you're not patient.
Yeah, because if you smoke weed, it's like, okay, you'll feel it 10 minutes, 5 minutes, sometimes immediately. And then the edibles, sometimes it's an hour before it kicks in. So people are
Oh, yeah.
triple dosing. And then they'll go to restaurants and just completely pass out on the floor. And it's
Oh,
apparently a
yeah.
thing, like a common thing.
Sadly, this is not my only story. I could list several. I don't learn very
No.
well.
Okay. Well, maybe you should just stick to smoking or vaping or something along these lines. Maybe we need to keep
Why
the
would I
edibles
do
away.
that? I'd like to ruin in a time.
Hey, if you can get high and eat at the same time, I'm for it.
Absolutely.
I'm for it. So, so one of the new things, part of this show, Dave, is that I'm allowing guests to also do, in addition to the story is required to come on the show, but you can also do the joke and the trick, because the show is joke, story, trick. So do we have, did you bring a joke or a trick with you to the show tonight?
Well, I don't have a lot of puns. I'm more conversational.
Take
I
that,
guess
Jimmy
I would
Mac.
say. Yeah, fuck you, Jimmy, you staff writer of one of the most successful cabaret.
Yeah,
whatever,
living on puns these days. Why don't you give us some lists now, Jimmy? Let's do lists and puns all night. It's okay. He's not working right now, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I will say, I guess I'm pretty bummed about the whole situation with the shutdowns, though, because I actually was invited to my 10-year high school reunion recently. And like, I was really excited to go, because it would have given me a chance to finally break out my old class ring that I had melted down into a single bullet. And the worst part of that joke is that I was actually homeschooled.
What's that?
The worst part of that joke is that I was actually homeschooled. So.
Oh. Man, let's do one of these too. What about a trick? Did you bring a trick for the show?
All right, let's see what we've got laying around here. So I've got these things here. So what I'm going to do is,
wait, are those dog?
No, I didn't get a trick.
No trick. Okay, I thought are those what you clip dogs' nails with?
They are.
And then would you, in lieu of a trick, would you cut your nails with those on the show for us live?
I just clipped my nails today. I could try.
That's going to make the stakes even higher.
I could try.
If you hurt yourself and bleed.
Hey, we can probably get some. That actually works pretty well.
You know what? I call that a trifecta. That's a joke, a story, and a trick all together in one. Thank you, Dave Berkey. Now, the next part of the show that we have is something that I call, what the shit is this?
Excited for it.
All right, Dave. This one wasn't hard to find, I have to admit. Tell me, what the shit is this? For those of you who aren't friends with Dave Burkey on Facebook, or aren't friends with any Columbus comedian on Facebook, you haven't seen this. However, if you know anyone who knows anyone in Columbus comedy, you have seen this photo. This is
that's me.
That's an ugly baby.
There.
What happened here? Tell us about this picture.
Well,
it looks like you just worked the graveyard shift at the mines to support your family. That's what it looks like.
So unfortunately, this beautiful young boy, that's that way. He is me. I am about a week old in this photo.
And it's been a long week, apparently.
Oh, you put in some extra hours.
Put in some hours at the plant to support his kids.
Oh, no, this picture is one of my favorite things. Like 2-ish years ago, I think I was at my parents' house and my mom went like down through all her stuff. And she was like just going through family photos and giving out like things to each of us that she thought like we might want. And so I was going through like all of them, and I come across like this baby photo, and I'm just like, that can't possibly be me. That's not a real baby. That's not. Oh God, and
this is clearly something someone bought at Spencer Gifts as a prank.
Yeah. No. It looks like a Victorian death photo of a child.
It does look like they've maybe propped the eyes open, those black, dark eyes.
Oh no, that is the gaze of someone that has seen way too much too early.
Yeah. That's only a week?
Yeah. So I posted this picture on Facebook, and obviously I thought it was hilarious, so I had to share it with a bunch of people, and it went viral pretty quickly.
Yeah, we've seen some memes. I love the one. It's just the clown from It, And then now the wallpaper, the phone wallpaper, that's yours, right? I think I got that. I saved
That
it
is
on
not
your
mine.
own Facebook.
It was on my Facebook. That's something that someone shared with me. You would be shocked at how many people use my baby photo as a wallpaper. Too many, really. Not even anyone in my actual family.
What is happening on the bottom left here? Basically, it looks like a nude from you.
So this past Halloween, I asked Facebook what I should be for Halloween, and someone suggested I put it up to a vote, and the thing that got the most votes was that I should go as myself as ugly baby
I just realized this.
Berkey.
We are looking at two different
It was a
photos
very
here.
unpopular costume.
It looks like, wait, hold on, I got you. There we go. You were frozen for a second. These are two different photos.
Are they?
The one that is the wallpaper is a completely different baby photo than the other one. You have two photos that both, this is like proof that it wasn't just a bad picture, Dave. This was
Shockingly, man, took multiple photos.
that is nuts. We're starting to there. We lost our connection for a minute.
Let's see if I break it.
There we go. Yeah, that is you know what though, it's always a pleasure. I always get a good laugh whenever I see these photos come across. It's awesome that you have you're a good sport about it. You know, you grew up to be normal and not an ugly baby.
Mostly.
And the glasses hide the whatever eye bags you've gained in a week there. It's incredible. Thank you for sharing it with us, and thank you so much for coming on the show, Dave. It's been a pleasure having you on, and thanks for sharing your story. That's a crazy story, and we're glad that you didn't die, and then we're glad that your friend wasn't a real nurse.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I'm going to get back to Trolls 2 World Tour, so thank you so much.
All right, Dave Berkey, everyone. All right, man, that was a lot of fun. I do appreciate Dave coming on, and we have just one more segment of the show, but before we do that, Jimmy Max says if Berkey was an adjective, it would be used to describe that pic. Allison says he was remembering what it was like to be born. That's what the extreme look is from. And I also want to tell you about this. It's time for a little plug. I'm doing this show for free for everyone, and the way that you can support me in this project is by subscribing to my Patreon. So when you do the Patreon, it's patreon.com/Michael Kent. And when you do that, you get access to stuff that I'm doing that no one else gets. Things like videos, behind the scenes footage. At the $10 level, I believe, you actually will get to see every show I do. There will be a camera at every live show once I start doing stage shows again. So you'll get to see all of those, and no one else will get to see those because those are for private paid audiences. But you can join for just $1 a month, and you can show your support for what I'm doing here, what I'm trying to do here, and that is provide entertainment and jokes and stories and tricks. And with that said, I believe we are coming to the last bit of the show, and that is a trick. I'm pretty old school when it comes to calendars. I have a phone. I don't use it for calendars. I use it for everything else. But when it comes to calendars, I actually use this thing. And let me get a zoomed in shot so you can see this thing up close. This is just a paper calendar, right? We'll put this here. Maybe on this side. There we go. That envelope will be there the whole time. And this is the calendar. You can look through all the different pages and they're all different. And if you look at the top of every page, I've done something kind of weird. I went through an entire deck of cards and I wrote down a card for every page because there are 52 weeks in the year and there are 52 cards in the deck. So every week gets its own lucky card. Now, we've had a few people that have been participating through the whole show, and I'm going to bring up a chat because I'm going to talk to Allison Landis. She's in the chat. I'd like you to tell me a date in the year that means something to you, but not your birthday. because I know your name. I could look up your birthday online. Maybe it's on Facebook. I want you to think of a date that means something to you that I wouldn't know. Maybe a family member's birthday. Perhaps you'd be thinking of an anniversary, some other date in the year, month and day that means something to you. And just type it in the comments. Just type, and it'll come up on the screen. I'll be able to see it that way. And it really can be absolutely anything. And if we don't have Allison in the room anymore, we'll grab someone else. Maybe we'll have Chris, or maybe we'll have Jimmy. But let's see. I want to give Allison Landis a chance because she's been a longtime fan, been following the shows for a long time. And of course, there we go. January 21. Thank you very much for Allison. I was worried that you weren't here anymore. Let's look. I'm just curious. January 21. January 21. Okay, there it is. January 21 is right here. And the card is the Ten of Spades. So if you would have literally said one date later, it would have been January 22nd. It would have been a different card. It would have been the Four of Diamonds. But it's the Ten of Spades because these are all different cards throughout the whole book. Different cards at the top of every page. But yours just happened to be Ten of Spades. Here's the interesting part. This envelope that has been here the whole time has one card inside. You can see that card. And that one card, that's the Ten of Spades. Unbelievable. Thank you so much for helping out. And thank you to everyone for stopping by the show tonight. Once again, make sure that you follow, like, and subscribe. That lets me know that I should keep doing these every week. Make sure that you, Jimmy Mac says, "Oh, you bastard." Love it. Love it. Thanks for showing up, Jimmy. Thanks, Allison. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, oh gosh, Gus, everyone who's been here. And thank you so much to our guest, Dave Berkey. Next week, oh my gosh, we have another great show. I have another guest who I will announce maybe midway through the week, so tune in for that. But we'll see you next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Everyone, have a great week, and we will see you next time. Hey friends, over the years, I've had hundreds of unofficial supporters. Now, you can make it official. Join my Patreon, 4 different levels, tons of exclusive benefits, access, behind the scenes, backstage video, access to shows that you normally wouldn't get to see, producer support, credits, shout outs, VIP events, everything you can think of. And you can join for as little as $1 a month. So thank you in advance for your support. I love all of you.